Again, seriously, thank you to the entire coaching staff. Thank you to all the administration who made this happen because it was not easy. My schedule is crazy. And this universe is going to be December 8th. So we've been preparing for that. And so I'm flying all over the country. But when you guys called and asked me to come here to USC for my homecoming, it was incredibly important to me. So thank you all for welcoming me and allowing me to address you today. You know, I talk about being a student athlete at USC all the time. I don't always call it USC because, you know, when you're in New York, they think that USC is Southern Cal. So I have to remind them that it's not. But I talk about being an athlete and the things that I took away from being an athlete because there are tons of lessons that you can learn right here at South Carolina. One of the important things that I learned was developing healthy eating habits and a workout regimen, which is important in a regular daily life, but it is also important if you're donning a two-piece in front of millions of people on television. So thank y'all for that. Beyond that, I had access to incredible resources here, which included a world-class coaching staff, great facilities, and I say that with a little bit of bitterness because we ain't had this track y'all had. Right? We didn't have that indoor track, we didn't have that outdoor track. We've been talking about the square track we had indoors, and people say we had a square track. They are not kidding. I was there when a man ran into the wall because he didn't turn fast enough on the night. So great facilities, access to a nutritionist. I still wear my USC Track and Field memorabilia wherever I go, even though my white t-shirts are now gray. Beyond that, I learned how to push myself. Because when that lactic acid is building up in your thighs and your butt and your arms and everywhere you could think of, but you still have to finish that 5-4-3 interval workout. Yeah. Even after you've already done a timed mile and shot put practice, thank you, Coach D, you learn how to push yourself. Most important, I learned how to balance work and play. Because when I was an athlete at South Carolina, I also had a job. I worked as a runner for a law firm right here in South Carolina for 2 years. I was also in the Honors College and finished a senior thesis while I was on the track team, traveling all over the country, so that when I went to Wake Forest and earned both a JD and an MBA at the same time, and had to shuffle between the business school and the law school and doing moot court and trial team, I already knew how to do that because I'd done it on an elite level right here at South Carolina. So I learned a ton of things being here. But even after I left, I continued learning, and I learned a lot of lessons that I wish I knew while I was an athlete. So I'm going to share one of those really important lessons with you today. Now, while I was at USC, thank you for your graciousness, Coach Frye, in introducing my track and field career. But while I was here, I wasn't the best track and field athlete. You'll notice Coach Frye did not say that I went to NCAAs. He didn't talk about my performance at regionals. He didn't talk about me scoring at SECs. He didn't mention that I was an All-American. That's because I wasn't. Now, on the other hand, after I left South Carolina, I competed at my state pageant and won. I walked onto a national stage, and I earned the right to call myself Miss USA while I represent the entire country at the Miss Universe competition in just over a month. Woo!
That's pretty awesome.
Very excited for that. So what made the difference, right? What made the difference between me not earning a spot at nationals as a track and field athlete to me being the one representative for Team USA at the Miss Universe competition? Well, in track and field, in athletics, we call it mental toughness. In business, we call it grit. I call it confidence. Partly because the slogan for the Miss Universe organization is confidently beautiful, so I have to buy in. But I really believe that. It really is, it genuinely is confidence. And what confidence is it is an unshakable, unwavering belief in yourself that is easy to detect but very hard to come by. It's something that separates champions from people who don't place. And if you're thinking about earning your first team national championship, gentlemen, and your second, ladies, then you're going to need a little bit of confidence. So how do you get it? Well, for me, there are really 3 components that you need in order to gain the confidence that you need to be a champion. And the first is a little obvious. It's preparation. You have to practice like a champion to be a champion. But seriously, what I mean by preparation is leaving no stone unturned. What I mean by preparation is knowing that at the end of the day, there is not a single thing that I could have done to put myself in a better position in order to win. Now for me, if you've never watched a pageant before, let me explain, because there are a couple things that I did. For the Miss Universe organization, we have 4 components. You compete in interview with the judges that you don't see on national TV. You compete in onstage question that you do see on national TV. You compete in swimsuit, and you also have evening gown. Now, I did okay for my onstage question. Things worked out well. And there are a lot of people who ask me what I did to prepare for onstage question, and my answer is very simple: I practiced. But the background is a little more complicated. You see, when I was practicing to compete on a national stage, I found this booklet of 230 onstage questions online. I printed it out and I cut every single question into tiny slips and I put it in little baggies. And every morning before I got to work, before I prepped and did anything, I pulled out 5 questions. And every night I pulled out 5 more questions. I timed myself, because on national television you have 30 seconds before they take the mic away from you. So I got to the point where I could answer a question in 28 seconds every single time I went through it. Now beyond that, I went on YouTube and I watched old Miss Universe and Miss USA pageants. I watched old Miss America pageants and old Miss United States pageants. I watched their onstage questions and then I would pause them. I would answer the question and then I'd play it back just to compare our answers and make sure I was on the right track. Beyond that, I had a team of coaches. One of them was a lawyer, 2 were former Miss USAs, and 1 was a mental toughness coach who trained Olympians. I practiced with them nonstop every single day, so that when I got to the national competition, I had no stress, I was calm, and I wasn't worried about the people beside me because I knew there wasn't another person who practiced as hard as I did. So what I mean by preparation is making sure that there's not one thing left you could do to be better in that competition. And you have to understand that sometimes that includes rest. Because beyond all of that prep, I made sure that every night I was getting my 7 to 8 hours of sleep.